Okay, I have a boring office life. Oh, transfer to safer failing app. A new chance in life. Who are you? The hottie on the floor. Already flirting with me, are you? And you're my strict boss. Please be strict with me. Nice to meet you, silent stoic co-worker. I'm gonna make you lose your composure, don't you underestimate me. So you're the charming prince. Wait, I actually said that out loud. How embarrassing. Hi, Mr. Barkeeper. Are you gonna make me feel relaxed after a stressful workday? Only by pouring me drinks. Well, I hope you have something more to offer, if you know what I mean. So now we're gonna work together and eventually land in bed, right? I mean, that's what this game is all about, right? Good. On to the bachelors. I started with Mitsuki, the nice boy who acts close to anyone and doesn't understand the concept of personal space. While he teases me, he thinks about me like a sister from the beginning. He's childish in the way he acts and approaches problems free-spirited and carefree. But is he really as carefree? His method of wooing is bringing the MC pastries, and as gifts aren't really my love language, I had a hard time relating to their love story. His drama was quite melodramatic, and controversial scenes weren't addressed properly. Dokuro works for another company supporting the renewal of the app, and he's the gentle, charming, good-looking prince character. He evaporates prince charm so much that I can't help to accidentally call him prince on our first meeting. But he's just flattered and starts to woo me like it's fit for a modern prince. He's really like straight out of a fairy tale. So if you like prince characters, he's your man, and the best prince character I've seen in a while. Nodi is a very special character. He's known for crashing at ladies' houses, but he offers cleaning services in return. Just kicked out by his last sugar mummy, he's homeless again. But as I'm assured by Mr. Hot Barkeeper, surely a reliable source, that he's harmless, I see no choice but to take him in. If you like that Kimi wa Petto drama, then you'll have a lot of fun with this fellow, who needs to be taken care of, can't do anything for himself, and is very needy, relying on your pity and treating him like a little dog. Shuya is the gentle and attentive butler of the bar around the corner. He cares a lot about his customers and wants everyone to feel at home at his bar. Same applies to me, because I'm a very dear customer and he's way too old to fall in love with me, he said, of course. And because he's, let's say, careful in his route, the MC has to take the initiative, and oh my, does she push that man. Like in every good office romance, you can also date your strict, scary boss Yoji. And he's the strict but kind type of boss. So much that I want to cry, but also appreciates my talents. I so often overlook myself, as he was the one who scouted me for the team and supports me a lot. Leading this team in a successful company, he could not withstand a scandal, but his past is haunting him. Hot mean boss with a kind heart. What can I say? He's gorgeous. Kohae is my silent stoic co-worker who doesn't care a lot for social interactions. The only reason he talks to me at all is to scold me to do my job better or to tease me with scary ghost stories. But what is the reason he can't fully concentrate on work, let alone on love? His background story was the most interesting in my opinion. His story actually had some twists, in contrast to most of the other routes, and the love progression was the most well-paced for me. But that might also be because I just liked his character and his voice actor from the beginning. Already before release, the game became infamous for its faceless self-insert heroine. So what's up with that? I guess you could describe the game of kind of an experiment on self-insert heroines. Self-inserting means that you become the heroine. It's like the ultimate ego perspective. The best example for this is Amnesia, where you don't even have access to the heroine's thoughts because the only thing that matters are your thoughts. But watch my video about Amnesia to find out more about this narrative technique. So what Sympathy Kiss does is to strip the MC of any dialogue lines. You only have access to her thoughts and have to guess what she's saying depending on how the other characters react. And I guess you can imagine your face into the CGs? Somehow? Oh, choice! You have 3 kinds of choices. Choices with 4 options influence your stats, job and love, on which your ending depends. Ideally, you want to balance them out. Then there are little dialogue, or very clever, emote choices. Ooh, don't scare me! Let's snack up in the elevator. This is me. I don't know. Wait, now I'm pushing the LI to date me? I mean, fine, I love him, but I didn't know I had it in me. So you see, this MC is kind of a double-edged sword. Especially the free choices make it very easy to self-insert and choose the reply you like without having to worry about getting a bad ending. But technically all 3 possible endings are good endings in a way. You just either have job and love, or just one of those. So even the significant choices won't scare you, as nothing bad will really happen, unlike in Amnesia. And I especially grew to like the emote choices, as they fit the general decision of not giving the MC dialogue lines, and you can just react how you feel without having to put it into words. And I would definitely be interested in seeing more games using this concept. On the other hand, the MC does have thoughts. She just doesn't directly express them in dialogue, but in the end still conveys them to the reader or LI, somehow. And you just don't know what exactly she says. But just with having thoughts, she already has kind of a personality. So it would just be a matter of setting some of her phrases in brackets, and poof, here you go, dialogue. And figuring out which of her thoughts she actually said out loud, and which she didn't, was very difficult for me to figure out and made me feel confused a few times, but that might also be due to my lacking Japanese skills. Wait, he ignored me? Oh, I didn't actually say that. No, wait, I actually said that out loud now? Well, okay then. She also changes her personality depending on the route and LIs quite a bit, to fit the needs of the LI. In one route she's shy and quiet, in the other she forces herself onto the LI. So overall, you could say she just goes with the flow, according to the route and LI. And how much you can then self-insert into her depends on how much you like the LI and how much you would act the same. But what I think actually helped with the self-inserting were the CGs where you naturally don't see her face. But the faceless CGs didn't quite do the trick for me. The CGs are extremely pretty and mostly in very clever perspectives, so it's natural that you just don't see her face. I mean your face, naturally. I mean, who really likes to look at pictures of yourself? You always look kinda weird. So I definitely like that choice. The faceless CGs on the other hand, I don't think they are ugly, they're just confusing. Because I do have a face. So if that girl doesn't have a face, that can't be me. But luckily those are in the minority. And most of the CGs are beautiful and cleverly done for the perfect self-inserting effect. The music on the other hand couldn't quite convince me. It's neither bad nor good. It fits the contemporary style, but sometimes is more dramatic than the actual situation would ask for. But you don't buy this game for the music, you buy it for the voice actors. The unique selling points of these games are either the steaminess, I will come to in a minute, or the voice actors. The reason I bought the game was Kohei's voice actor, because I was still in Bidoshana Benkei brain rot, and he will also voice Pashalia in Radiant Tail. The second reason was Yoji's voice actor, who seems to be very often stuck in side character hell, like in Nilat Midari no Tenbin, Café Enchanté, or Olympia Soirée. But he also voices Anko in Shuri no Beige, Kore in Jako no Laila, Takagi in Sudan Digit or Rei in Ephemeral, or Rindo in Sandiron Palika, but don't buy the game for him. Don't. And for many people, Nori's voice actor was certainly the reason to buy the game, because he also voices Shelby in Cupid Parasite, Limbo in Buster Fellows, Kintaro in Yunohana Spring, or Kei in Kenga Kimi. Mitsuki also voiced Kamuro in Tengoku Struggle, Rokuro voiced Hugo in Shuri no Beige, as well as Yoichi in Kimi Yuki. So if you want to hear any of these voice actors moan or make a kiss sound, this is your game. This game is an office romance, nothing more and nothing less. If you don't like the word office or romance, the game is not for you. The first half of each route are a lot about the app work. And even outside of work, you still talk about work and hang out with your co-workers and talk with them about the weather or whether they have siblings. And if that doesn't interest you a lot, the game might feel boring to you. Oh, and how many siblings do you have? So that's the office part, but what about the steamy mature romance part? Well, first of all characters have vastly different personalities and different ways to approach physical intimacy. As a more mature game, physical intimacy doesn't have to be the peak of a romantic relationship, but can also happen in other contexts and for other reasons. It's not necessarily over-romanticized, but I do like my over-romanticization of physical intimacy. My precious! I'm the golem of romance. So that might be why I perceived the 3 steamy scenes in each route not as particularly steamy. Unless I already was in a relationship which wasn't the case for 2 out of those 3 times. So to me, these allegedly steamy scenes seemed extremely short and not always came with a CG, which is a crime, and even sometimes left a bitter taste for me when they didn't feel consensual or weren't incentivized by their love. At least each character earns a bad scene, yay! But unlike those scenes in Olympia Soiree, for example, the scenes didn't feel long and intense to me, but rushed and less than 5 minutes long, which is short in a 5-hour route. Especially if that was the reason I bought the game. I mean, did I? And for some characters, these scenes even felt a bit samey, like with the same lines. And the situations of the steamy scenes didn't come off as especially creative or exciting, but were kind of just your standard bad scene. And the scenes outside those specific steamy scenes lacked for me almost all romantic tension. I mean, I just replayed Cupid Parasite and gosh, is this game hot. Like, every scene is so full of tension and desire. But in Sympathy Kiss, it's in the end all about work, you know. And when it's not about work, then it's about K-drama drama, but the bad one. 3 of the 6 LIs had so-called traumas, caused by so insignificant things that happened to them, which still apparently scarred them for life. And only the MC can magically heal that trauma just by existing, as ever since they haven't met a single nice person who listened to them. I mean, poor fellows, they can't cope with a single insult that happened like 10 years ago, and now it takes their whole life to recover from that. But still, I couldn't take these conflicts seriously. And they were over-dramatized in my opinion, whereas other more important issues like dubious consent or emotional blackmailing weren't a problem at all. Sure, let's talk about you being traumatized by that one insult 5 years ago, but not about me being assaulted. I mean, I'm the MC in an otome game. Why would I mind? And who are you even? And why exactly do we act as if we were friends and do boys talk and all, though we literally just met? Not having dialogue for the MC naturally also means you'll miss out on some funny banters with the LIs, which I dearly missed. And even the cast's overall chemistry was okay. But I, for example, had more fun with the characters of Lover Pretend, as overall the characters in Sympathy Kiss are far from fleshed out. What also isn't fleshed out is that app plot. So we're building an app? Well, yeah, it's just an excuse to spend time together and hook up eventually. Unless you're very forgetful, you will have to see a lot of flashbacks and have a lot of useless small talk with everyone, you know, for that certain boring office life vibe. Yeah, but after having played one route, you'll know exactly what will happen in the other routes because they all have the same structure. So you're in love from chapter 1 because, you know, you're a self-insert heroine, if you didn't know. And so we assume that our players are in love with the characters to begin with because have you seen our advertisement? It was bonkers. So yeah, you know, most of the time you just wave decent relationship build up because we assume you're in love with them anyway. And as you know, writing relatable love stories is a bit difficult. So then you kiss, have some K-drama, do some mature stuff for 5 minutes, you know, to please the fans and all. And then everything falls into place like magic because shallow characters are good for easy solutions. The Japanese in this game starts off rather difficult with a lot of office vocabulary I just don't care about, honestly. But it gets easier along the routes, so I'd rank it about lower intermediate level. But if you play Japanese otome games, please help vote for the difficulty on my website now, or share your experience in my Discord. In regards to localization, the first game of this team, Lover Pretend, is already localized, and the sales numbers of Sympathy Kiss also were, for me, unexpectedly high. So if Lover Pretend is well received, I guess there's a chance for localization. But I would say you don't desperately need this game, and I mean it's a good chance to learn some Japanese office vocabulary. So the verdict and value of this game totally depends on how much you like the LIs from the beginning, because it's pretty much what you see is what you get. You have to fall in love with the characters yourself, as there's no MC who will tell you what is likable about them, which is an expected downside of the self-insert heroine. It's only about your thoughts. You have to like the LIs. You either love them yourself or never will. So let me put it like this. If I was to pay everyone who worked on this game from the roughly 6,000 yen price tag, I would give 50% to the PR, 80% to the voice actors, and 20% to the art. And if you want to put a price tag on my work, please join my patrons to make it easier for me to commit to YouTube and help me buy games and equipment so I can make more and better videos for you. That means the PR of this game was really great and overhyped my expectations in regards to the steamy scenes. As the game is relatively short, with a short common route about 1 or 2 hours maximum, and the character routes being 5 hours long. There is not so much time for everything, and consequently even the steamy scenes are short and few. Depending on the route, I think Yoji had the most steamy scenes, but my sexy award goes to Shuya, because of one scene that made me fall off my couch. Not kidding. But those steamy scenes will only heat you up if you love the LI anyway. Then the game might be worth it for you if you want a steamy scene with a specific voice actor, but as I said, those steamy scenes are short, so it's not exactly an intense experience. But I will make a video about the most steamy otome games soon, so stay tuned for that. And if you love the art, I mean, the game is certainly a joy to look at. Or if you enjoy a game without any significant plot, some drama cliches, without bad endings, but some LI trauma therapy and a bit more mature relationships. I think overall I enjoyed the writing of Love or Pretend more, which isn't steamy but very cute. Also has some morally questionable decisions, but is a really good alternative if you're looking for a fluffy work-life setting otome game. You just have to check out if you like shoujo manga vibes.